Hi everyone, welcome to another session of Ginaja TV Newscope, episode 86. Um, my name is Olatunde, and I just want to say welcome again to the program. So, without much ado, I'm going to start off with the first story that we have today. Let me just give you a quick rundown. So, we're going to have this lady that actually laments about what happened when she was on the Port Harcourt Aba train, which breaks down in the middle of the bush. And then this will be followed by Al Naaman, the footballer, inherited $1 billion from a man he never knew. So imagine that. So when people say that this life balance, well, I believe very strongly that yeah, it is life balance if you know God. If you don't, you are just playing Ludo. So yeah, the next one is our livelihood are gone and the saline is killing us. This is Ogun State. Farmers are crying out about the headers invasion, and there seems to be no cogent counter offensive against these headers who are making life miserable um, indirectly for the larger populace at large. And because obviously the farmers can actually produce, it's going to have a knock on effect on the economy, not just local, but um, the nation at large. Then, lastly, we're going to be talking about the Enugu. So, we have another, okay, don't let me give it a tag, but we have another incident in regards to the Enugu air passenger dragged off the plane by airport officials in a dramatic video. So let's get started with the first story. So this lady actually spoke about what really happened when she actually took the train from Port Harcourt to Abia to Aba, and the train actually broke down midway. I mean, if you look at it, how long have we had these trains that we're having this sort of problem? So I'm not really entirely sure that is it that the trains are not fit for purpose, or is it that the maintenance is, is suspect that we've not developed a proper maintenance culture. So let me bring this up for you guys quickly. Right. So this storyline is about a journey meant to connect Port Harcourt and Aba turned frustrating on Thursday, September 4th. That's today. When a passenger train broke down in a remote bush area around Imo River, leaving travelers stranded for hours. One of the passengers, a lady, took to social media to lament the situation, sharing a video of the halted train and voicing her frustration. According to her, the train had been stuck in the bush for more than 2 hours with no clear explanation from officials. Confused and worried travelers said they were given different reasons for breakdown, ranging from no diesel, good lord, to lack of water, and even a bad brake. The conflicting excuses only added to anxiety of passengers, many of whom expressed concern about being abandoned in such an isolated location. Though later reports confirmed that the passenger eventually made it home safely, the incident once again highlighted the growing concern over Nigerian railway systems. The latest breakdown reflects broader challenges facing the Nigerian Railway Corporation. Frequent technical failures, despite new projects like the Port Harcourt Aba line launched only in May 2024, breakdowns remain common due to aging locomotive and outdated infrastructure. I don't understand. How can it be outdated? Aren't they supposed to be new? You see, this is one of the key things. I'm not. I don't want to stretch and make connections where there is none. But the truth of the matter is that if this thing was just if it was just launched, that means that it's supposed to be new. Okay, if it's supposed to be new. Now, in a year plus, they are talking about aging locomotive. How is that even possible? Poor maintenance culture. See, I said it earlier. Chronic underfunding and inadequate maintenance continue to weaken the system, raising questions about reliability and passenger safety. Security risks being stranded in isolated areas heighten the vulnerability of passengers, especially given past incidents on other routes, such as terrorist attacks on the Abuja Kaduna corridor. Passenger experience beyond technical problems. Travelers frequently complaining about dirty coaches, lack of working amenities, and poor service delivery. For many, Nigerians, this ordeal is yet another reminder that while modern railway projects are being commissioned, sustaining reliable operations and ensuring passenger safety remains an uphill task. That's the truth. It's one thing to say, yes, hooray, we have this new stuff, we have this new train, new infrastructure, but we it is the maintenance that is key. It's like anybody else that you buy a brand new car. Yeah, for a while you can get away with it using it for a while, but if you don't maintain it, it is going to break down. Even if we have bought a second-hand locomotive, at least locomotive train, it's still important to maintain it. So regardless, of course, it makes a whole lot of difference if we're being transparent in terms of if we buy a new train, we should say, or if we buy a whole train, we should say it's a old train, it's second hand, but then we say we buy a new train, then the new trains are breaking down as if they are old. So what does that actually tell us? Okay. So that's part of the challenges that we're having. It needs to be dealt with. It's not enough to have all the big wigs, all the big, whether it's the president or anyone, so you have all this launching to say now we have this new. So but it's what happens after. And I've always said it that our national psyche is the problem. We need a psychological revolution. We need to change our mindset. Our mindset is what I refer to as our national psyche. People talk about the government being oh, if we had good government, who are the government? Look in the mirror. You and I are the government. So it's not about just talking about saying, oh, government needs to do this. No. Remember that when we pick representative to actually represent us, in power, they are from amongst us. Remember that sci-fi film, Amongst Us. They are not from planet Venus. They are not from Jupiter. They are from Nigeria. So whatever you see is a reflection of who we are broadly across the nation. So when next time you're actually talking about oh, our government is bad. No, it's simply saying that we are bad. And when I'm actually saying that, I'm not saying that in a generalized sense, but there are certain things that makes a national, they are good Nigerians, obviously. They are good people. Unfortunately, the people, the present crop of people that we have, they are from amongst us. You need to actually be in some social gathering and you hear of some prospective politicians talking what they say they will do. You'll be amazed. So I don't know. So for some of us, we're not surprised at what we are saying. So really, as far as I'm concerned, um, we definitely we need to get our act together. We need to get our act together. Without it, all we're simply doing is we're just playing games. We're just playing games. So our next story um is about about Neymar the footballer. You see, so I said it that in this life, people say life is not fair. It's I think it's relative what you mean by fair. There are certain things that happen to certain people, even with best of intentions. There are good people that dies early. There are good people that dies late. Then you see some evil people that dies early, and you see evil people that dies late. So we should not be surprised. So the storyline here is about multimillionaire, talented footballer Neymar. Now, the story actually goes that a certain gentleman actually leaves hundreds of millions of dollars for him. Guess what? They've never met. And that is truly amazing. You see, in this life, I think that's one of the reasons we say have hope. You don't know what good thing is about to happen to you. There's some people who are going through every single person on this planet that have something. We all have challenges. I can assure you of that. And what's really happened here is the Brazilian superstar Neymar may have landed one of the most unusual windfalls in football history. A massive 846, in conversion in pounds, it's 846 million. That is 1.11 billion dollars fortune left to him by a billionaire he never met. According to Brazilian outlet RIC, the unnamed businessman believed to have been from Porto Alegre formalized his will on June 12th with two witnesses present. The will now awaiting clearance from Brazilian court, shockingly named Neyman as the sole heir to his vast estate. The billionaire, who was reportedly childless and single, is said to have identified deeply with Neyman on a personal level. Local reports suggest he admired the player's strong family ties, especially his relationship with his father, Neyman Senior, which reminded him of his own late dad. Neyman 33 has not publicly commented on the report, but if approved, the fortune will instantly rank among the most bizarre inheritances in sports. The Brazilian winger, who turned to his boyhood club Santos in January after an injury hit spell with Saudi side Al Hilal, has been trying to rebuild his career ahead of the next World Cup. In his first stint at Santos between 2009 and 2013, Neymar scored 136 goals in 225 appearances before moving to Europe. Since returning, he has already added three more goals in 14 matches. In June, Neymar renews his contract with Santos, declaring Santos is not just my team, it is my home, my roots, my history, and my life. Here I was a boy who became a man, and I'm truly loved. Here I can be myself, truly happy, and it is here that I want to fulfill the dreams that are missing in my career. Wow, that is really that is just incredible. In life, one of the key aspects of life is that anything good can happen. Unfortunately, anything negative as well can happen. But I believe that if you're a very strong spiritual person, say Christian, you're able to, you know, deflect certain things if you're a praying person. So we're not just at the mercy of the element. It's not just that, um, we have a dice and we just roll the dice, maybe some spirit somewhere just do that and things happen. No, in like yeah, the spiritual is more real than the physical, and those who knows that actually reign supreme. That's just the truth. So I mean, look at this guy. He's already stinking rich. He doesn't have any financial problem, and there's somewhere, and interestingly, I think I remember that the Bible did say this. It said those that even have small, it said more in fact will be given to them. So most people will see this will be like, oh, it's not fair. How can this guy is already rich? Can't you just, they can talk like Judas? Why can't we just sell this expensive perfume and just feed the poor? It sounds very, charitable, isn't it? Sounds very kind. But most people that actually talk around that area, they are the most evil of all people. We all knew, at least we all know exactly how Judas actually died. So that is one of the things that in life that is strange. Well, maybe to some people it's strange, but it's not. Like I said, check your Bible, is there. Said that he that actually have much, said even much will be given to them. So, well, I hope I think he's going through the courts at the moment. So I pray that it actually goes well for him and he actually takes it. Look, I probably believe I believe that this guy must be helping a lot of people. I don't know, but I believe he's somebody because people have not really said negative things about him, and it's not every rich person that has a lot of money that are quite charitable in terms of helping people, lifting others, and all that. Most don't. So it's just the way it is. So I hope he gets it and he can help more people. So next story. Right. Our next story is about the livelihood that's been destroyed in Nigeria, in Ogun State, especially. That's so we're going to Ogun State right now about the farmers who are complaining bitterly. Um, Nigeria has an issue right now. We've been for some few years now been having issues with about headsmen, bandits, kidnappers, ritualists, also just name it. Honestly, It's it. You know, sometimes I just believe that the people have been left at the mercy. There's a particular story I was looking for, but I haven't found it yet. It's about where that the audacity of bandits in the northern part of Nigeria, Sokoto especially, that how the the Sultan of Sokoto. But let me just put it this way: I have not seen anything major in regards to this. I'm looking at some major news outlets, and I've not seen it. So, but so I'm being careful here, so that I'm not found to be spreading misinformation about how these people audaciously went into a part of Sokoto State and were just grabbing people around the area that this was not just some isolated place like in the highway, which is their modus operandi, but going into like a town and they were just grabbing people. And the storyline, which I'm unable to verify yet, is that the sultan was fortunate enough to have escaped. And if this story is true, and I use the word capital if, it will sort of, it's alarming. It will be very, very much alarming. But anyway, like I said, it's allegedly, so it's not verified. So I'm praying that it is not true. So let me just state that again for the records. So right now, this storyline says, it said our livelihoods are gone. Silence is killing us. Ogun farmers cry out. So I think I've got this. Yikes. Right. So he said, farmers in Ogun State have raised their alarm over persistent attack on their farmlands by herders, calling on the state government to intervene as their livelihood continue to come under threat. The farmers who spoke with, the farmers lamented that they have suffered huge financial and emotional losses, despite the resources and effort invested in cultivating their land. At Arugbo Kosun village in Odeda local government area, the situation has become particularly dire. Farmers there said herders repeatedly lead their cattle into farmland, destroying crops at will. One farmer who requested anonymity due to his sensitivity of the issue described the situation as unbearable. We have made efforts to cry out, but the situation continued. Just on Wednesday, the herders led their cows to farms in the village and ate the crops, he said. When they got to the farm of a man whom we will simply identify as Ogurumbi, we mobilized and caught some cows that were yet to leave feasting on the crops. You can imagine what happens after you cultivate your land and plant crops, nurture them to grow. And when you start having hopes, these herders destroy everything he had. Another farmer, Olugbenga Toki, recounted how cows allegedly led by herdsmen invaded his 1 acre farm in Arugbo Koson village near Idera, wiping out all the maize he had planted. I planted the maize in April. I spent over 100,000 on seedings and land preparation alone. I even paid people to help me. In the second week of May, I went to the farm early in the morning to do some weeding and returned later in the evening. What I met was heartbreaking. Everything had been eaten up, the farmer said. He continued, visibly distressed. When we got there, cow dungs was everywhere. It was painful. Imagine all the efforts, all the sweat, just gone like that. Residents said these invasions are not isolated incidents. They accused the herders of carrying out the attacks with impunity. People have suffered so much, Oluwinga said. The herders usually come in the afternoon when farmers are away. By the time anyone returns, the damage is already done. Fear has now driven him away from his farmland. My family doesn't want me to go back. They are scared. We don't know what when the herders will come again. I am losing hope. Bushes are already taking over the farm. I just feel discouraged. If I lose my life on that land, what will it all mean? He said. He appealed to the Ogun State government to act swiftly. We can't produce food if our lives are at risk. Cars have taken over our only means of survival and nothing is being done. People are even afraid to report. If you talk, the others might come back in greater numbers and destroy even more. He added. Biodo, another farmer with a cassava farm near mile 6 along Ajibo Road, shared a similar ordeal. In June, others came and ate all my cassava. I had already spent so much planting and nurturing them, only for everything to be destroyed overnight. They had come once before and carried out the same destruction. This time, This time makes it the second time they have destroyed my crops. That's after spending heavily, he said. These incidents are part of a recurring crisis. In January, women from the Araromi Ibise community in the Yewa North local government area publicly appealed to the state government and security agents after repeated farm invasion filled them safe, left them feeling unsafe. In August 2024, a clash between local hunters and herders in Oyebanji in Meko Afon local government area led to the death of one person. Despite repeated assurance by government officials, residents insist nothing concrete has been done to protect them. The silence is killing us more than the cows. One resident said, "We are crying out, but no one seems to be listening." Responding, special advisor to Governor Dapo Abiodun on information and strategy, Kayode Akimade, stressed that the state will not tolerate such act any longer. The government of Ogun State has observed cases of obstruction of traffic, invasion of people's farmland, and destruction of crops across the state. This is a violation of existing law, will not be tolerated a minute longer. For the avoidance of that, the Animal Grazing Regulation and the Cattle Ranch Establishment Law prescribed a term jail of not less than 3 years without option of fine, including the forfeiture of the herds of cattle or livestock under its control of to the state government for anyone who rears head or graze any livestock in any part of the state except where within the permitted ranches, or anyone who rears cattle or livestock outside the permitted ranches after the commencement of the law. Wow, I don't know. This is almost like this has become a charade, honestly. That I'm sorry to say this, but it's like hot air. What is being done? Nothing. People have been talking. It's look, in comparison to the north, it's this is literally I'm not trivializing this because people's lives, wow, livelihood is actually at stakes, and you cannot trivialize that. So it's really sad that you can actually see where a people who are totally oblivious to any kind of thing. Sometimes we don't even know whether these elders are even from Nigeria. You see, and sometimes this is one of the reasons why you have all these conspiracy theories, and some of them, I believe that we should investigate and not just sort of just ignore them and just say, oh, they're just talking rubbish. No, it's not. We need to actually find out what exactly is going on. You see, is this a concerted effort to starve the Southwest or what? Or is it to impoverish the people, in the South or what? I don't know. I'm just saying. But when you look at it right, is it far-fetched to think like that? I don't think so. I don't think so. Is this a strategic, is this a strategy whereby they're trying to weaken this house? I don't know, but once again, it's looking like it because when you destroy people's livelihood, so how exactly are people? You see, this is one of the reasons why I felt that I think we are sleepwalking into where one day we'll just wake up and find out that we are surrounded. Look, the security um the security services in the south, especially Amotekun, they are doing brilliantly, especially in Ondo State. I don't know much about Ogun State, but I think Oyo State, and some other places like that in the southwest, they are making stringent efforts. They are making stringent efforts, and I believe the army and so I don't know whether we're doing enough. I don't think we're doing enough. I think there should be, the former chief of army staff. I don't normally agree with him because I felt that when he was there, some of the things he's talking about there, why didn't he say it back then? We definitely he did say that the president need to impose a nationwide state of and uh, a state of emergency security. We need to actually impose a state and nationwide state of emergency. Yeah, state of emergency we need to have. This is not, I mean, this thing has gone beyond, banditry, kidnapping, herdsmen. What, and we're all pretending as if everything is normal. No, it is not normal. I think people, we need to wake up every day. I'm actually that's why I take it that one of the story I would look. I always try to talk about it. Look for one of these things that are happening somewhere in Nigeria, whether it's in the east, west, north, south, doesn't matter. We keep seeing this every day. This is bang out of order. What are we doing? Everybody's just sitting down, doing. We're just living as how. We're just sitting down there as if it is. Oh yeah, it's being dealt with. No, this has gone. This is getting to be an abnormality. It is already abnormality because this thing is persistent. Seriously, there needs to be a state of emergency nationwide. I don't know what that is, whether it is the state governors that we actually will impose that. I don't know, in collaboration with the federal government, but we need to have something. We are acting as if, oh, I don't know whether we are pretending, we are trying to pretend that there is no issue. Yes, there are issue. We have a national problem. And I think this issue that we are talking about, it has become an existential threat to the very existence of Nigeria. God forbid, if things continue like this, there might not be any Nigeria. And the scary thing is that it's almost as if, yes, we're doing something, yeah, but then when you're looking at how things are, there is no urgency. There seems to be no, don't worry, don't talk about it. As if don't talk about it. I don't know. I don't understand. Those in power, please help us out here. What is going on? Oh well, people. You just had what is going on. So I mean, just imagine with the state of the economy, for somebody to actually, they are not carrying guns, they are not kidnapping now. They are not into ritual killing. They are sowing. They are into enterprise. They are farmers. They are they bought seeds. They are growing the thing. Are we not supposed to be encouraging people to be able to, to be able to pursue their daily livelihood, whatever business that they are doing, without fear of what? And and they are saying that they are even afraid to talk. Why is that? Why are they afraid? Ah, I don't understand though. I don't get it. I don't want to use the word. What are we afraid of? So is there something deeper at play here? Ah, okay, I don't understand at all. So lastly, this is I spoke about earlier about the situation in about our aviation. And I actually spoke. It was more in line with our national psyche, how our character that makes up, who we are. You know, there's a huge aspect of the Nigerian characteristic that is positive. Unfortunately, we also have this aspect as well that is negative. So, although we don't really have a full storyline here about precisely what, I remember that there was a lady that had issues with she was dragged out, chest was exposed and everything. And then the Minister for Aviation did promise that there's going to be this, retraining, across board, for airlines to actually train their staff, so that even if they're dealing with, you know, troublesome passengers, there are ways they can actually deal with this, without necessarily, you know, um, at least in a professional manner. That is not like, not that we just react haphazardly, like, ad hoc reaction, just react whichever way. And unfortunately, that seems to be what is happening here. So let's look at this last story very quickly. Enugu Air passenger dragged off plane by airport officials in dramatic video. So you can actually see that another airline, doctors reveal if another hairline drama has unfolded, sparking conversation about the need for sensitization of airline passengers and staff. A video shared online shows a passenger of Enugu Air being dragged away by airport officials. At least 8 airport officials are seen surrounding the middle-aged male passenger, just feet away from the plane, while the man resists their efforts to drag him away. They pulled his trouser earlier. Now, no slippers. A woman filming from the airport's waiting area is heard saying, as one airport official violently shoves the man while grabbing onto the waist of trousers. It is not clear what led to the treatment meted out on the passenger. So at least this person is not cooking up stories about supposedly what they felt actually happened. But quite frankly, so far the airline has not released a statement. Unverified online report claimed the man failed to comply when airport staff told him he could not sit in an exit row seat because it might not be able to assist in the case of an emergency. This allegedly led to dispute and the man was removed from the plane. So, okay, there's a short video clip where I think we can just view this. Um, okay, well, unfortunately, yeah, I think this footage is quite short. Wow. Well, that's it, folks. We don't really know, so we just want to avoid too much speculation. So, um, somebody said enough. Enugu don't get the airline since when I beg. Why can't they? Anyway, so just want to say thank you, everyone. So it's been an interesting one. So hopefully we'll have some more. Maybe by tomorrow, I believe we should be able to see, more stories, more deeper insight in exactly what that is about. Because right now we don't know. So till then, anyway, well, I just want to say thank you very much, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow. So I remain Olatunde. See you tomorrow. God bless and good night.